So you have a trial setting, but you're not ready for trial. You haven't done mediation, you need more information, witnesses aren't available. What do you do? Well, what you do is you do a motion for continuance, and that's the topic of today's video. Hi, I'm Sean Palmer with the Palmer Law Firm, and today we're going to talk about what you do when you need some extra time to be able to get the full case for your family law matter before the court. So the courts or people sometimes on their own go and schedule their trials on certain dates. Most of the times the court will set out trial on a specific date after a certain amount of time has elapsed since the filing of the lawsuit. Courts want to do this to try to get their cases moving along, make sure things aren't just hanging out there without any action happening, and clear their dockets. But there's a lot of good reasons why you sometimes have to delay and push that off to a later date because you're just not prepared. The point of going to trial, of course, is to present your case to the judge, and the judge wants to hear all the information. So the judge is going to want to make sure that the parties are as prepared as is reasonable. And if there's any requests for time to make it so that the trial will be more productive, the courts generally will grant that unless there's been undue delay going on. So there will maybe times during your case when your attorney is going to suggest that more time is needed and that we should try to get the trial setting moved backwards for whatever reason. So there are various reasons. For one, and the most usual is additional time is needed for discovery. So you will have at that point probably already requested discovery from the other party. Maybe the party didn't produce the documents, or maybe you find out some new information that you need to get some more documents about, or you need to depose a party. That would be a good reason why you would want to request a continuance on the case. If a witness isn't available, maybe they're going to go, have surgery, or they'll be out of town. That could also be a cause for requesting a motion for continuance. If you haven't done mediation, most of the courts require mediation, or at least strongly suggest you go to mediation prior to having a trial. If you haven't had that mediation or scheduled it, or able to come to an agreement with the other party about who the mediator is going to be, or when you're going to have the mediation, or what the costs are, then that might be a cause to request the continuance. Although you will have to have shown due diligence in trying to have coordinated that mediation, of course. On rare occasions, if the attorney isn't available, your lead attorney, you can request a continuance. Usually the attorney is going to have a letter on file requesting a vacation date, and the courts will generally try to keep that date. If the attorney has filed their request for a vacation during a certain week when trial is set, that could be a reason why they request a continuance. And also, if the case involves a service member and the service member is on active duty, that would be another very good cause for seeking a continuance. There can be very many other reasons, specific reasons why you would want to get a continuance. And there are pros and cons on getting a continuance. So sometimes you don't want to move the case back, because it might give the other side more time to expend a lot of fees on the case or things of that nature. But it's generally, the general idea is that you will try to get an agreement from the other side on the continuance. And if you do that, you will file that motion for continuance with the court as a joint motion or an agreed motion for continuance. And again, it's much more likely to get the continuance if both parties agree more time is needed to do whatever's needed, discovery, or things of that nature. So, but sometimes you can't get agreement from the other side. There are cons on getting continuance, make them not want to agree to do it. So you will have to file a non-agreed motion for continuance and set it for a hearing. Now, obviously, you're going to want to do that as soon as you know that you need the continuance, so that you're not possibly running up to the actual date of the trial. So you don't want to file that motion for continuance, on the eve of trial, although you can do that, but you run the risk of it being denied, and then suddenly you're going to be flat-footed standing in front of the judge and have to conduct a trial without the benefit of whatever it is you needed for the continuance. So you want to file that motion for continuance as soon as you can, but sometimes you don't know until late going into it. For example, we had a mediation in a certain case that I had, and the mediation didn't settle. And in the course of the mediation, it was discovered that certain assets and things are in existence. And so we needed to find out more information about that. And so we had to file the motion for continuance kind of late in the game because, we schedule the mediations usually pretty close to the trial date. So it's really a custom sort of thing about what you need for the continuance, and you have to file the motion for continuance with, showing good reasons why the court needs to move the date back, especially if it's going to be contested. A lot of courts put the motion for continuance on the docket, on the submission docket, where you don't actually have testimony. Some don't. It depends on, we got COVID and everything going on. Those play into whether the court's going to have oral hearings on it. But if you do get your motion proved, then you need to also have an order for the judge to sign, obviously, that will vacate the trial date and then make the trial date at a date further down the line, based on what you're requesting. So that's kind of the short idea about what the motion for continuance is, and why it's needed, and why your attorney might sometimes ask you or communicate with you about moving your case back. Very good reasons in a lot of instances is why the case needs to be moved back, and so you'll have to talk with your attorney about the specific reasons for it. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about the topic of continuance or any other topic at all, you can leave a comment below or reach out to us, and we'll try to help you any way we can. Okay? Have a nice day.